Well, first we had a set of politicians coming. We had Ugrappa coming in, we had H.D. Gowda coming in, UT Kadir coming in. We have also had many Congress leaders also who've been coming in. And the politicians have always focused on one thing, is the ideology of UR Anand Murthy, to see people as they are, not according to their religion, not according to their caste, and to grow beyond any of these shackles that in fact divided humanity. And he always spoke about the unity of a human being. And that is what he practiced. So a lot of politicians say they have taken inspiration from that. Then we had writers coming in, we had eminent journalists coming in, we had Gauri Lankesh coming in, who was quite emotional about it. We had Jayamala who had come in, who was also very emotional about it. And we see that people who have in fact directly benefited from the ideation that came from this great mind is something phenomenal, because it has quietly, literally, in fact, left a mark on them, and it has also made them into different human beings. So this is what the kind of people we see coming over here, Akshata.
Right, Varghese. So also, any word on whether, in fact, the doors of the house will remain open through the night? Will they be going ahead and allowing people to come in through the night? Because we do know that a lot of people from across the state are now scrambling to reach Bengaluru.
Well, they have kept the doors open, Akshata. In fact, there's a huge police bandobast that is here, and you can actually see it is a very controlled crowd that is coming in at present. But they kept the doors of the house open, and it will be there throughout the night. And they are expecting a lot of people coming in, because the news has just broken out for a lot of people. A lot of people are expected to come from different parts of the state, and also from outside the state as well, because he has served as the Vice Chancellor of two universities outside Karnataka. He was for Kerala University, he was a chairman, and for the Mahatma Gandhi University, he was the Vice Chancellor. So people are expected from other states also to pay their visits over here, Akshata.
Right, Varghese. Also, of course, if you could take us through the mood among the family members now. Very sure, of course, that they must be so saddened by what has happened. But how are they taking this news?
Well, they've quite given they've in fact given a very brave face. In fact, just when he had come in is when the family also was behind our vehicle, in fact, and they alighted from the vehicle. None of the press persons, in fact, talked to them, because it would be not appropriate. But at the same time, the children, along with their mother, had just come in. The grandchildren were also with them. The close family members were there. Of course, they are facing it quite bravely at present, Akshata.
Right, Varghese. Thank you so much for joining us with all those updates. Tragic passing there, and definitely looks like the entire state is in mourning at this point. A lot of people have also turned up at his residence, at UR Anand Murthy's residence, to pay their last respects, and a huge crowd is trickling in. We understand that his body will be kept there till tomorrow morning, after which his body will be taken to Kandirwa, where again the public will be allowed to come in and pay their last respects. And after that, the cremation is expected to take place by about 3 p.m. Remember, he will be cremated with full state honors. Tomorrow is a state holiday in mourning of the loss of UR Anand Murthy. Former Prime Minister Deve Gowda was also present there to bid adieu to UR Anand Murthy. Here's what he had to say.
UR Anand Murthy ನಿನ್ನ ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ತುಂಬತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿನ ನಾನಂತೂ ಕಾಣಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅನೇಕ ಪುರಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು, ಗೌರವಗಳು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆ ಬಾಲಿಗೆ ಬರೀ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ, ಇದು ಅಧರ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಧ್ವನಿಗೂಡಿಸಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಹಿರಿಯ ಚೇತನ.
Former Prime Minister Deva Gowda mourning the loss of URA Anandamurthy there. He was one of the people who turned up at his residence to pay his last respects. Home Minister KJ George also reacted to URA's death from Mysore. Listen to what he had to say.
Dr. URA Anandamurthy ಅವರ ನಿಧನ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಡೀ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಲಾರದಂಥ ನಷ್ಟ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವರ ಕೊಡುಗೆ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ರಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಮೇತ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವರ ಅಗಲಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇಡೀ ಜನ ಈಗ ದುಃಖಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಅಗಲಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬ ವರ್ಗದವರಿಗೆ ಸಮೇತ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಸಹಿಸುವಂಥ ಶಕ್ತಿ ದೇವರು ಕೊಡಲಿ ಎಂಬುದಾಗಿ ದೇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೂ ಸಮೇತ ಶಾಂತಿ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಎಂಬುದಾಗಿ ದೇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Home Minister KJ George also condoling the death of the renowned writer. They're going on to state that, of course, it's a great loss to the state and the nation, and also may his soul rest in peace. The hope, of course, is that URA Anandamurthy has left for a better place, and a place where he will be accepted for his views, for what he believes is the ideal democracy. And several people have gone ahead and mourned the loss of the legendary writer. They have stated that it is the end of an era, the end of a generation of a man, of course, who has inspired so many, who's written so many books that have, in fact, not just created controversy, but have gone ahead and instilled some sort of inspiration, some sort of appreciation for literature, especially that of Kannada. And also earlier, as soon as the news broke, we spoke to Prakash Belawadi, a rather emotional Prakash Belawadi. In fact, let's listen to what he had to say.
I could hardly call myself his friend, I was more like his disciple. And he was the tallest intellectual presence of Karnataka. There is no question that he was unparalleled. He's been a diabetic for a long time, and things began to deteriorate over the last two or 3 years. He had to have more and more interventions of dialysis. But he was a kind of curious and indomitable spirit. So I think his spirit of inquiry kind of carried him through this phase. We expected it would happen sometime, and it was going to be bad whenever it happened, because we needed him. Kannada needs him. Karnataka needs him. Actually, India needs him. And these are dark times, actually. We needed people who can think, who have the courage to speak their minds, and ask questions, even unpopular questions. So that voice is gone.
And of course, Prakash Belawadi, who is someone who has interacted so closely with URA Anandamurthy, stating that he's left behind a big void that can never be filled. We also spoke to Satish Chandra, who is a writer and a film director. Here's what he had to say about his interactions with URA.
He was highly influential to many generations, especially to my generation. But my generation did not take him really that well. He was considered a rebel, and he was considered a gimmick monger, who writes stuff only to gain attention. But nobody did understand, that it is. He told me, when I was heavily influenced by English literature, and when I spoke to him, he told me that your mother tongue is what you should read in. And he was never the guy who will say, yeah, I am sorry for what I said, but he always stood by what he said. And he told me that being different is not being wrong. It is being different. As long as you do not hurt others directly, being different is not wrong.
And of course, that was Satish Chandra also going ahead and talking about the kind of man URA Ananthamurthy was and what he stood for, what he believed in. In fact, this is a great loss to the nation, to the world, and the world of literature has been left with a big void today with URA Ananthamurthy's passing. We'll slip into a short break at this point, but do stay tuned. News and updates will continue on the other side.